My predictions for 2022 WWE Wrestlemania Backlash match card. Now I was supposed to be doing SmackDown Go Home show, post show review, but I realized it wasn't, a lot of excitement going into WrestleMania Backlash. With that being said, the WWE Backlash has been in existence since 1999, which makes it one of the oldest events on the WWE calendar. Now, WWE has started referring it to as WrestleMania Backlash. Now, this event is usually almost always made up almost entirely of rematches from WrestleMania, with a couple exceptions. Now here is the full rundown of the WrestleMania Backlash match card. We got Roman Reigns and Usos versus Randy and Drew McIntyre. Okay, bro. We got Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey for the SmackDown Women's Championship match in the I Quit match. We got Bobby Lashley versus Almas alongside with MVP, Happy Corbin versus Madcap Moss, Edge versus AJ Styles, Damian Priest is being sided, being it from ringside. Then we got Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins. Now that is official, the match card. Now, I don't know if they gonna announce anything. If they do announce something at the last minute, then it is what it is. Now let's just get into this. First off, I do want to say the build for this pay-per-view really hasn't really. It's not really something to actually be excitement for. I mean, other than we seen everything pretty much at WrestleMania. It's probably gonna be like a 50-50 booking. The only new match that's possibly here is Happy Corbin versus Madcap Moss, and we will see another rematch between Edge and AJ Styles, and we got a 6-man tag team match with the Bloodline versus RK Bro and Drew McIntyre. Now that should be something interesting, but I will not take too much of your time. Let's just get into this match card and go with my predictions along down the way. Another thing I forgot to mention was the United States Championship Theory doesn't have a match as well, and Backlash is tomorrow, and Ricochet doesn't have a match as well, and he is the Intercontinental Championship. Now, he did defend against Jinder Mahal to Shanky, but you still want to put them on, the Backlash if they wasn't at WrestleMania. Well, anyways, let's just get into the first match. Well, it's actually not the first match, but I'm going down the road looking at my prediction. Okay, we have Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey in an I Quit match for the SmackDown's Women's Championship. Now, I don't know what you guys thought about this match at WrestleMania, but for me personally, I was there to see it, and I just did not like it at all. They did not connect together. They didn't have no chemistry whatsoever. Ronda Rousey, she's still not good. I mean, she's trying, but she did mention in a podcast or whatever that she depends on others to, help her take the lead. Now with Charlotte Flair, that is not the case. Charlotte Flair do not care about nobody, do not care about selling for nobody except herself. She's going to make herself look good, and she's not going to make nobody else look good. Now, who do I think will win this? Honestly, I think they're going to pull the trigger and give it to Ronda Rousey, because I believe that Charlotte Flair is taking some time off anyways. And I feel like we just don't need to see Charlotte Flair with we do not need to see her with that championship any longer. Now, Ronda Rousey, is that a good case for her to be champion? She gonna have to evolve more as being champion. Now, with that being said, I don't know who else to be in line to face Ronda Rousey for that SmackDown Women's Champion, but I'm not interested in looking forward to watching this match. But I have to go with Ronda. Rousey for the win for the SmackDown Women's Champion, because I just don't see Ronda Rousey saying she quit to Charlotte Flair. So that is my prediction for that. Let's get to Cody Rhodes versus Seth freaking Rollins. No, I did personally enjoy that match at WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes did beat Seth Rollins as he was the mystery opponent for Seth Rollins, handpicked by Vince McMahon. This was this was a fun match between Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. We did see Cody Rhodes do a little bit of Dusty Rhodes signature hits. Technically he did the cutter, the apron cutter, and then hits like 2 or 3 crossroads as well to end the match for the pinfall at WrestleMania. Now, nothing against Cody Rhodes, but I just see WWE going with a 50-50 booking. But nevertheless, I'm excited to see Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins once again battle it all out at Backlash tomorrow. With that being said, Cody Rhodes will win for my prediction. Bobby Lashley versus Almas. Hopefully I'm saying that name right. Now, you would think Bobby Lashley will return from his shoulder/arm injury to be back in the WWE title contention, as he was stripped from it because due to his quote-unquote injury in the Elimination Chamber. But instead, he came back. He rushes his surgery repair to be in a WrestleMania feud with Almas. Now, I'm glad he got it because he got the WrestleMania paycheck, and yeah, he got another WrestleMania match. Whether it was against Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, it was Almas. So I don't blame him for wanting to be at WrestleMania because that's the grand stage of them all. Now, my prediction for this, I'm going to have to go with Bobby Lashley, but I figure they going to probably have Almas win because MVP did turn on Bobby Lashley and instead he was ungrateful and such, but I don't think that was the case. I do see Bobby Lashley picking up his second win against Almas, but I see they pushing Almas as a Big John or whatever, so I'm gonna have to go with Almas with this second win. Well, with his first win against Bobby Lashley, so I do see them going at it with a 50-50 booking once again. Now, I'm a huge fan of Bobby Lashley as well, but you know what? I'm actually gonna go with Bobby Lashley on this. So, I don't think they're going to have Bobby Lashley lose. But we're going to see what kind of screw-up MVP going to do to cause Bobby Lashley this match. But I'm going with Bobby Lashley, the Almighty, for the win at WrestleMania Backlash. We have Edge versus AJ Styles. Damian Priest is he's banned from ringside. Now, to say this match between Edge and AJ Styles at WrestleMania was a disappointment would be a massive understatement. Considered by many to be the best match of the entire show on paper. It was underrated. Only because it felt like Edge and AJ Styles was aiming to create an epic match instead of letting it develop organically. Let it develop on its own. To be honest, hard to predict this match. I mean, I feel like Styles should win with the help of Finn Balor setting up a tag team match at Hell in a Cell with Edge and Damian Priest. Inside the cage, Balor could turn on Styles and join forces with Edge, building out his stable and creating a rivalry that could last into SummerSlam. But I don't think Finn Balor needs to turn on AJ Styles. I feel like they could be an incredible force on their own. With that being said, could AJ Styles take another loss? Would AJ Styles ask Finn Balor to help him? Will he approve of that? I mean, there's so many questions. Maybe Finn Balor asks AJ Styles, does he want him to be ringside? And AJ Styles probably would tell him no because Damian Priest is banned from ringside. So I'm thinking maybe somebody else from Edge's group or stable will come out there and, attack AJ Styles or, distract him somehow. Because they easy distracted. And Edge goes for the win. Because I feel like Styles losing this don't really hurt him. But it kind of does. But at the same time, they are building up Edge's fashion. So Edge needs to win. Edge needs to win once again, and possibly if he does win at WrestleMania Backlash, then AJ Styles gonna have to get the next pay-per-view win without hurting Edge somehow. Now AJ Styles could take on Edge's tag team alongside with Finn Balor. It's just so many questions, so I'm gonna have to go with either man on this. I don't know who will win this, so I'm just gonna have to go with either man on this, because both of them actually do need this win, but only one of them can come out with the win. I do see AJ Styles and Finn Balor forming up as a team. Edge would be a manager, and it would be Damian Priest and another opponent of Edge's fashion. So that will be interesting to look out for tomorrow for WrestleMania Backlash. Now we have Happy Corbin versus Madcap Moss. Now, I know I said it 1,000 times, but I just did not agree with WWE turning these two against each other. Because I feel like if they going to actually have Madcap Moss beat Happy Corbin clean, having Corbin going into depression mode again to be Bomb Corbin, I'm all happy for it. But at the same time, if they do have Madcap Moss changing his name and go back to his old name and try to push him into the SmackDown singles competition division, I mean, you already have Gunther that you building up as well. So what if they cross paths? If Gunther beats him, then turning on Corbin will be all for nothing if he can't win the championship reign as well, because I believe they're going to have Gunther be the next Intercontinental Champion if that's the case. Now, they're going to have to avoid each other all times, but eventually they're going to have to cross paths, and Madcap Moss will not be beating Gunther. I feel like they should have kept them as a team, and they could have at least been, tag team champions down the line at one point. Not right now, because apparently the Usos are going to be getting those titles, but we don't know that for sure because they did cancel the unification match. But with that being said, they could just hold it off to SummerSlam until that, to be on the bigger stage. I just still feel like, we barely have tag teams, and I feel like these two guys work well together, and they not going to be on TV if these both guys are separated after they feud. But what do I know, right? Eventually, hopefully they have a long-term plan for both of these guys, because they did have Corbin trying to get Madcap Moss back together at one point, but he declined, and then he goes next week talking about him. Another thing I didn't like was Corbin losing to Drew McIntyre after he kicking out of the End of the Days. Now Corbin gets jealous of Madcap Moss winning the Andre the Giant trophy. I don't know why would he get mad when he has a trophy on his own. It just didn't make any sense to me, but it is what it is. Hopefully they got plans for him. I do see WWE letting Madcap Moss beat Corbin clean to officially start his singles push. I just think it's a bad idea, but that's my prediction. Now, obviously, last but not least, and obviously going to be the main event of WrestleMania Backlash, we got a 6-man tag team match instead of a tag team unification match between the Usos, the Bloodline versus RK Bro, Randy Orton, and Matt Riddle. With that being said, I would have Roman Reigns and the Usos take this dub, but I feel like Drew McIntyre and RK Bro would take the dub. But at the same time, do you need Roman Reigns losing in his first pay-per-view after becoming unification champions? But they could just be like, oh, well, he's not eating the pin. He's not taking the loss, so he could be outside the pin while one of the Usos get pinned. With that being said, I do have Drew McIntyre and RK Bro winning this match at WrestleMania Backlash for the win. Setting up two separate feuds for SummerSlam. They're going to continue the feud with RK Bro and the Usos, the Bloodline, and continue to SummerSlam. Then they're going to start fresh for Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns for the Unification Championship. Drew did mention that someone got to take one of those belts off of him, and he would be the one to do it. So could we just see Drew taking the WWE Champion back from Roman Reigns to bring it back to the Raw brand? I don't know for sure, but it would be interesting to look out for. But that is my prediction. That is my prediction for WrestleMania Backlash. Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins. We got the 6-man tag team match. RK Bro and Drew McIntyre versus the Bloodline. Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, and Jimmy Uso. We got AJ Styles and AJ Styles versus Edge. Second match. Out of these two, and Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins will also be round 2 between those guys. Madcap versus Corbin. We talk about Randy Rousey versus Charlotte Flair, and Bobby Lashley versus Almas with alongside with MVP. Let me know what you guys think about my prediction. What is your prediction for WrestleMania Backlash? Are you excited to watch WrestleMania Backlash? Who do you think gonna win out of all of these matches we just went over? Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, if you agree with my prediction, if you disagree with it, be sure to hit the like button, comment what you agree with me on, what you disagree with me on. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for post notification. Until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. I also will be covering WrestleMania Backlash. Be sure to check out my Twitter for that. And yeah, until next time.